Hey, Rolling 20 fans, this is G, and I'm here to tell you today about a new sponsor for our show, Casey's Irish Pub. This is an honest-to-God Boston or Chicago-style Irish pub located in downtown Los Angeles. They serve cooked food, 11 kinds of beer, and 49 different Irish whiskeys from 3 different distilleries. What does that mean? That means if you're looking for a good drink during a Los Angeles convention, you don't have to go far. If you're headed to Los Angeles for E3, Kamikaze, Anime Expo, the Los Angeles Car Show, or one of the hundreds of events happening near the Staples Center, then a good meal and a glass of Guinness is just a short walk away. Jeremy, the loud guy who won't shut up when we do our own podcast, he actually ate there during the last Anime Expo, and he said this. Forgive me if I don't sound like the guy. I went to Casey's Pub looking for a place to bring people for a good night of food and found it when I was driving people on my way back to the Los Angeles Convention Center. We went back and I had the best steak pot pie in my life down there. My wife had a good whiskey to sip, and 8 of us had fun talking and eating in a place that looked like it belonged in a movie. Casey's just a couple of blocks from the Westin Bonaventure. That means it's close to one of Anime Expo's own shuttle stops. We're even hosting a photo shoot there during the 2014 Anime Expo. If you want more details on that, email us at mspfreight@yahoo.com. Hey, so do yourself a favor. And don't stock up on bad beer and try to mix something sitting at the desk of your hotel room. Ride the elevator, get off at the Bonaventure, and walk to Casey's Irish Pub to get some drinks by their bartenders. Make some new memories and have some fun. We want to see you there.
Hello everybody, this is Anthony Beyond from Mission Star Podcast, and we have another edition of the Conover. With us tonight is I think I should just take away this Conover podcast and just replace it with the Rolling 20s podcast. I have been invaded.
Well, not everybody likes us for 15 minutes at a time anyway.
I have been invaded by the Rolling 20s crew as Jeremy, Steve, and Jesse are here to talk about our time Anime LA. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. Oh, yeah.
Tired as hell, man. 50 minutes on a treadmill is killer.
Oh, man.
Wow, this is kind of like the opposite of our show. He's usually happy we're miserable.
Try going to school about 6, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, it has been about, I'd say, let's see, recording this on a Wednesday. Anime LA was about a
Week and a half?
Week and a half ago,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Anime LA happened, and we've all had a good time. We all had different experiences. And where to begin, I think, is the real question. I mean, the first thing that comes top of my head is just like, I didn't arrive to Anime LA until like the early morning of Friday, and then from there it's business as usual in terms of like the amount of foot traffic and everything else, in terms of Anime LA and how many were there in attendance. I will ask though, like, did it seem a little less this year than last year?
I didn't really notice that. I thought it was still pretty busy.
Yeah, me too.
To me, it felt like it wasn't as populated as it was prior. Maybe it's kind of weird. Maybe it was because like part of the reason why is because it was raining that weekend, so there weren't that many people out in the pool deck as much, and majority of them were inside the con or elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was weird. I felt like it was less crowded this year than last year. But last year I think was an exception, just because like last year was it was my first time coming, and it was also like the best time I've ever had at a con too. So there was a very high expectations coming into this convention, for sure. So for those who don't know, like, well, you guys were working during the con, right?
Yes, Steve, Jeremy, and I were all working as staffers there for we were pretty much running around making sure everything's kept. Actually, no, not orderly. Each department had enough manpower to deal with the traffic flow they were getting.
Okay. What were some of the things you observed over the weekend? It could be anything from like cosplays to like anything that you might have noticed that you haven't noticed before, or anything of that nature.
No, before. Well, I didn't get to see it. Well, I can't say that. I did see plenty of cross-dressers, but I didn't see hairy ones this time. But I saw overabundance of cosplay of this pick. This pick from anime, Western cartoons, just name it. It was there.
Agreed. It was funny. So, I think, man, so a funny story. So I was going to the bathroom, and I was in my Zenketsu cosplay, and I did not realize that in front of me, because he was in line too. I think it was like Steve was like right in front of me, and it was like I was asking him like, so are you the valet for the bathrooms? Like, because like there are some waiters out there that would like stand right in front of the bathroom, and like they have a towel with them, or they would like have something with them for tip. And he looks at me and is like, no, dude, it's me, Steve. Anthony's like, oh shit, yo, hey. So there was like that awkward moment. I was like, oh, okay, you're just here to go use the bathroom. Okay, cool. Oh man, but actually, yeah, definitely. So and kind of go off that point actually, real quickly. Remarkably, the anime LA bathrooms were actually pretty clean this year. And I'm only saying that because, like, when you go to an anime convention, when you go to the bathrooms in anime conventions, it is like an apocalypse just happens in there.
I generally don't go to the restrooms at cons only because the lines are just too damn long.
Agreed.
At the restrooms?
Yeah.
I don't know, when you went to pee, I barely found anybody in there.
Yeah, no.
I never went in, and he never came up.
Like, the bathrooms were remarkably clean. It's like, wow, this is the cleanest bathroom I've seen at a con, out of all the cons I've been to in a while. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So yeah, that happened. But in terms of other stuff that happened during the weekend, Jeremy, so we kind of talked about this before, but you were in a little panel. I'm not sure if you heard of it. Some dude with something Wrestling Federation. I think it was called Cosplay Wrestling Federation. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're pretty indie. I think they're still coming up. Like I was there, you were there, and the panel itself was pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun. Through your, and we talked about this on your other podcasts, but like through your viewpoint, like how was it this time around than last time around? Because I know you did the show at Anime Expo.
It was fine and everything, but there were some serious technical issues that kind of dragged through the middle of the show. It ended up really pulling things, I don't want to say down, but just sideways.
Right. There's something I noticed too was that I applaud like the people behind TWF in terms of keeping the crowd entertained throughout the whole ordeal. And there wasn't a moment where, and I was looking at the crowd just to kind of keep an eye on everything. And like,
why, are you gonna jump somebody who got out of line?
No, and I was just curious in terms of like if there's going to be people leaving during like these audio technical difficulties. And astonishingly, not many actually left. Like maybe one or two, three at the most. But majority of majority of the
I
people
was outside the door when it happened. It was 7.
Okay. But the majority of the people that were there stayed there, and they were pretty entertained, even with that going on. So that was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah, but that's all credit to their announcer, who did a whole lot of improv on the spot, though.
Mm-hmm.
He
Agreed.
managed to keep everybody in their seats for an extended amount of time.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I'm talking about food in my mouth. So for people who don't know what the Cosplay Wrestling Federation is, basically, a bunch of wrestlers, well, quote unquote wrestlers, come up to the stage, and they have their promos on stage, and they make a case of why they should be the CWF champion. And after the ones who are chosen to go to the next round, face the champion, and so they can go to the third round, and then to be, whoever is the champion faces the contender for the belt. And damn, this one was pretty awesome. I have to say, the ending I did not expect.
I don't think anybody.
No
expected
one
it.
expected it.
And no one was looking for that.
Yeah, like, okay, like I can understand. Like there'll be some favorites. There'll be some like cosplayers that people are really into. But
Afro scene.
Yeah, but like fish guy, really?
A dude with a giant fish on his head, and that's yeah, okay. That's what everybody wanted.
It was funny. I ran into him prior to the panel, and like I didn't recognize him at first, and it was like he's like hey, I'm the guy from Paname, the Iron Will's. Like, oh shit, why are you in the fish costume? And he's like telling me like for the CWF, like, oh, okay. So I wasn't sure exactly how that's gonna happen or how exactly it's gonna work, but the direction he took it was like, so hilarious.
Told a good story, and that was the important part.
It did. And if you guys want to listen to more about it, go check out Jeremy's podcast, the Rolling 20s, which we had.
Don't tell them that. They won't find out shit about it. I'm still not sure what we talked about.
It is a mixture of just like on the spot, just like talking about TWF, and at the same time just kind of bullshitting around. It was pretty awesome. It was a pretty good time. Pretty good times. But Jeremy, like, how was your weekend at ALA? Like, what was some of the things that you took away from that weekend?
High stress was basically the majority of it. For those that don't know, I'm a second division head for volunteers out there, and we were woefully understaffed. I mean, I don't think that's even a secret at this point. We didn't have many volunteers for no real reason I knew of. A couple of long-term staffers didn't show up, so I barely made it out from behind my chair to do anything more than, use the bathroom, really.
What do you think was the reason for it? Do you think maybe because it was the last time at this location that volunteers were less inclined to report or show up, or was it because of some things coming up that they couldn't come?
I couldn't even guess, really. It's all up to the individuals willing to do it. If they're not able to do it, then I can't tie anyone down and force them to. It's volunteer work, for crying out loud. Mm-hmm. It was just one of those cases where I'm used to having at least a good 15 to 20 people asking if there's anything that can be done, and this year I had like 4. No,
wow.
2.
Wow. So basically it was just you, Jesse, and Steve?
No, there were other people working in the department, but we all had places we had to be at every given minute. I actually, it was so tough out there. I sent Jesse and Steve to do things simply because what I was doing was partially their responsibility at best.
I see.
I signed up for a leadership gig. They did not, so I tried to throw them out as much as I could.
Okay. So, interesting. So,
Not the answer you were expecting, I know. I'm usually pretty much a maven when it comes to conventions and everything, but I had responsibilities and I stuck to them.
Right. It's just, the interesting thing about it is like the volunteers that didn't show up, may have their reasons for one not for showing up for this con. It's just it so happens to be the last time ALA is going to be at that location. It's a number of things that that in terms of like not only that, but the hotel staff acting in a different way. There were just things during that weekend where it felt a bit different in terms of from hearing from you on the other side of like things that would have been a bit easier didn't really become as easier as last year.
Well, I mean, thankfully, Jesse and Steve are hard workers when it came to the work I asked them to do, and everybody else pulled together, and I can't even guess necessarily how we got it done, other than everybody managed to do very well covering the necessities.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And I truly appreciate that, and I'm glad everybody did it. It was just one of those cases that by the time it was done, I was really glad to when my window closed just so I could get a break.
Right, definitely.
I didn't even really have a chance to walk around the con until, God, what would you guys say? It was like 8 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So just out of curiosity, did ALA release the numbers of how many attended for this one? I know they capped it in terms of like badges were sold, but is there...
Not thus far, and our meeting, our post-convention meeting is supposed to be on the 31st. I imagine to find out more at that time if I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
I may have a prior engagement with family, so I can't. I may find out a few days after that.
Okay. I'm kind of curious in terms of the amount of people that came, because there's one thing for sure that was happening. There's going to be a good number that's coming because of the circumstances of this convention moving to a new location for next ALA.
I expect next year to be even more people. It's just a matter of can we get the staffers to make sure that we do well.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Because with the amount of people coming next year, you're going to need a lot more people, definitely, to help out with that event.
Yeah, I will say, though, that I was listening, I know I'm running volunteers, but that window, if anybody knows where it is in one of the main hallways. So I'm listening to people as they go by. And a lot of people still say that it was one of the best times they've had in a year, if not ever, at a con. We had a lot of first-time people. We had a lot of returning people, and there were a lot... Despite everything and Lord Cthulhu making it rain all day Saturday, people still seem to be having a whole lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely one of the things I was still getting from walking around. People were still having a lot of fun.
I will say, though, it's really odd during one of the few periods I got out to do something, and I look outside, it's raining, and people are huddled in this weird semicircle formation. It took me a second to realize that they're all huddled underneath that bizarre entrance ramp up to the lobby.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, it's... okay, so here's the thing. Anime conventions, normally, they have a schedule, as I'm dying, set of days where it's normally on a pretty good...
If he dies, you're taking over this podcast, I swear to you.
Nope, not gonna be me.
But like usually they're set at a certain time where like it's the weather is manageable, or sometimes like there's gonna be like heavy snow, or sometimes you can't control. This in previous years, at least what I've heard, like this is the first time, or very rarely has it rained during that weekend of Anime LA, and it happened this past one.
It's happened before, but it usually isn't an issue because prior to that, the convention could be contained entirely within the building. In the last, 4 or 5 years, it's spread out to the pool deck, it's spread out to the patio deck, so there were a lot of outdoor activities. And, yeah, I mean, Southern California, it rains every once in a while, but not in any great amounts. The thing that really pissed everybody off, though, was that we'd heard for a couple weeks coming up to the convention, during that weekend, there's a chance of a sprinkle. There's a chance of a sprinkle. Maybe a little bit of a sprinkle, won't even be any measurable rain. And as I'm sitting in the window, somebody walks by my office and just says, "Oh my God, it's raining horribly out there." I'm like, "What? I mean, Channel 5 lied?"
The weatherman got it wrong again?
They underestimated Mother Nature.
Underestimate Mother Nature. That bitch was on Valium.
Some people were saying it was a sign that the weather was crying for ALA, that it was moving from that location.
You kidding? After some of the treatment I got, I think it was a sign that you got to get the F out of here.
Yes. But yeah, like it was. Yeah, I mean, compared to my first time last year, it was definitely a different experience. It was a lot more crowded, obviously, inside the con because more people were huddled in because of the rain. But like regardless, I still had fun. Even with that happening.
I was amazed at how many smiles there still were, even though it was a rainy day. A lot of cosplay gatherings were washed out. It's a pun, I know, but it wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
And they still managed to find a way to do something with their day.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So I managed to check out some of the panels during the weekend. Aside from CWF, my favorite panel that I went and checked out was the Bonsai Arcade panel. The Bonsai Arcade RPG for the Money panel. That was a lot of fun. Like I attended
Yeah,
your
I'm glad you explained that a bit because you said Bonsai Arcade and I'm trying to figure out how much fun it is to play video games with a tree.
Like I had fun last year. I checked in like maybe midway through the panel. I was there and it was a lot of fun. And then this year, oh man, it was so cool. So if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out on our YouTube channel or on our website. The full video of the entire panel. And to just give you the brief synopsis of what it was. So it was a trivia game. You answer questions, anime or video games. And the main storyline is like you're playing this RPG and you're going from point A to point B, and you have these like characters who are like coming with you along. It was cool. They pretty much made a game specifically for the panel, and it was really cool. The story was simple, it was dumb, but it was funny. Like it is what it is at the panel. I think there were some moments in that panel where I was just like, holy shit, this is awesome. So during the panel, like, and I noticed this too when I went to other panels. Like sometimes it would be voice actors or like people, big name people would be just in attendance at a panel and you wouldn't even know it until you turn to your left. I was like, oh shit, So like at this panel, some of the friends of the panelists that was running the entire event, was it the animator from Skullgirls was there, Bosco, voice actor was there, and then the voice actor of the announcer for Super Smash Brothers was there, and that was like when they announced it, I was like, oh shit, no, we were all going nuts. It's like holy fuck. So
I'd like to know why it is Anime Los Angeles seems to do well at getting some video game voice actors, and it seems to be their thing for reasons I still haven't figured out.
Yeah, I know it's crazy. It was like, wow, like I was like, it was a cool moment, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. On top of everything else I was watching, it was really cool. It was really, really fun time. I really enjoyed that panel. And they're doing another one at Fanime, so I'll definitely go check that out when it happens.
Well, I did send Jesse out to do something he'd never done before.
What, cross-check?
Well, that too, but you should have seen
Really?
it.
How the hell did I miss that?
You didn't see all the leg hair in the damn sink?
Nope. I thought somebody shaved their beard.
At least I hope that was leg hair. If not, we got a serious problem. But no, we heard that the tabletop gaming room had actually the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons, which none of us had ever laid hands on.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent them out. They played a session of it.
How was
They
it?
came back 4.5 hours later.
Wow. Was it everything that you dreamed of?
Well, I had seen it prior to watching some guys on YouTube play, so I had a basic idea what was going on. Once I got my hands on the book, I
Did you
saw...
actually watch a YouTube playthrough of an RPG? God damn it, you have time on your hands.
Well, this is while he's playing Destiny.
Yes.
He's multitasking.
But, yeah, so, once I got my hands on the book, I started getting a swing for all the mechanics. I was like, holy crap. It's simplified but not dumbed down. A lot of math has been cut out, and it's real more focused toward RPing your character as opposed to maxing out your character's stats and making it as effective as possible.
So
interesting.
the hardcore, oh, I need to make my character with this feat and doing all this and that and everything, they're going to be forced to RP, or is there still...
No, it's not. You're not forced to RP. You can still just play the characters, by the numbers, but RPing does give you some additional perks that, normally was a kind of a house rule thing. Basically, people like you and me, Steve, it'll be difficult to min-max, which I somehow managed to do.
Huh. How did you manage that?
Well, I chose the human for my race, and they have two versions of it. One is the traditional extra 2 ability stats and 1 stat and extra feat. Mm-hmm. But that's the variant version. The baseline version that they have in the book is +1 to all your stats. And since we're using a point-buy system, I just bought everything at an odd number.
Oh.
And just milked it that way.
Wow. That's awesome. Holy shit. Wow.
But it's like, at the same time, if you actually pay attention and look at your abilities, you can really do some serious damage.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And I was looking at it, as your character progresses, your character changes very little as you progress.
So it's less about going for that next level and looking forward to what your character can do. It's more just, play them as you get them, and then that way...
Yeah, it's more or less play in the moment. Don't play in the moment and play the adventure, basically, instead of looking forward to, okay, well, I'm going to get this when I hit here, so I just need to get this much XP, blah, whatever.
That's cool. I like that. What do you how did you enjoy it when you were playing it?
Well, I enjoy it for what I did. I tried to RP my character as best I could for as well as I can RP. I'm pretty lousy at it. But I had 2 couples there, and one guy who had an obsession with lizards.
How obsessed we're talking about? We're talking about like this dude will marry a lizard type of obsession, or like is he more like...
I didn't ask, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had those kind of dreams. But I'm just speculating. But despite the fact that I found him to be the most annoying, he was the most helpful in the game. Since he actually decided to make a tank character.
Now, you need to elaborate on this obsession with lizards. I mean, did he play a lizard? Did he find lizards and pick them up?
He played a lizard. He's got a lizard. He played lizard. He says he's all obsessed with. He knows all these facts and trivia things about lizards. He's even got a stuffed lizard on his head.
I see. So he's
so
stuffed lizard plushie.
I saw that. I just assumed he was really obsessed with Tangle.
No, but aside from that, we tried to play a short session, but the thing is, things kind of got in the way. We all built the character from scratch, and all of us, including the GM, was still fairly new to the game.
Oh, I see.
So that
5th edition hasn't really been out for very long.
It's only been a couple months from my count.
True, but it still took us a while since we only had 1 book.
I see.
Well, from what I understand, those books are pretty expensive.
$50 a piece.
Ouch.
Not that much different from the days of buying, though.
Yeah, there really isn't much different. But yeah, no, it was a fun experience. Challenges are challenges, and you have to really work for what for your end goal. But you still kind of have fun with it when you RP your character in a way, because the way you RP your character, you earn this thing. Nah, I'm not gonna go into detail, but yeah, like I said, it rewards RP. You don't have to do it, but it is rewarded.
Right. Okay. That's awesome. That's pretty cool, though. What time was that, by the way? That was
Did that I believe on Saturday from 11 to whenever I got back.
4:30.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's awesome. There's one thing
He's not the only one that disappeared into that room for a few hours.
No, that is true. I took Sunday to go do a little bit of Eberron, which I hadn't I'd played once before, but I hadn't really gotten very far in it, and it's a different campaign setting, still used the 3.5 rules, but the DM was a lot more comfortable with Pathfinder, so we kind of amalgamated. We used character classes and race options from Eberron. The world setting was in Eberron, but the rule system was more Pathfinder related.
Not too different. Pathfinder seems to be a more refined version of it.
Right. Well, I mean, character creation, race-wise, you get 2 bonuses to your stats unless you're human half-elf or half-orc, and 1 penalty, or if you're...
listening to is my every other night.
But because of that, there's since it was still 3.5, then like if you played a Warforged, then they got 2 negative stats, 1 positive stat. So the GM was just like, well, just eliminate one of the negative stats, and you can roll with it that way, stuff like that. But yeah, it was fun. I had not actually gone and played a role-playing game at a convention before. Just doing whatever. Usually sitting in the room playing video games or whatever. But yeah, I had a fun time doing that this time.
That's great to hear. I'm happy to hear that. Because out of your busy schedule, I'd hope that you went out and did something fun times. So
yeah, I mean it was nice. We seemed to get volunteers when we needed volunteers. At least to kind of get by. But yeah, sat in front of a door for a while. It does, seeing everybody else have fun. It's kind of like I really want to be out there doing that too.
Right.
Well, in normal years, you guys usually are more often than you're standing by doors. But this was a very aberrant year.
Yeah. Well, I will say the one improvement that I saw especially was I wasn't sick this year.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't get
you
aggravating
left that
migraine
Brandon.
this year either.
Yeah, you guys left crippling sickness to Brandon this year.
Yeah, so got to actually kind of go out and enjoy the convention rather than just going, okay, I got to put in my hours and then I'm just going to go up and die in my room for a little while. But I also did the Masquerade this year again.
Oh,
and
how was that?
Well, I shouldn't say I did the Masquerade. I didn't participate in the Masquerade. I don't cosplay, but I helped out last year, but all I did was kind of stand in front of a door again. This year I actually got made a stage ninja. So I got to see a lot more of the actual Masquerade. They had some really amazing entrants this year. They had 3 separate people enter into the Master category, which I didn't even realize. I haven't really watched Masquerades in forever. I didn't even realize there was different entry levels and whatnot, but one in particular was a woman in a wheelchair, and the guy that was walking around with her, and they had this amazing angelic... Yeah, her wheelchair was done all up as like this skull throne with these lamps or lanterns. I'm not really exactly braziers maybe or something, but it was all through lighting effects. It wasn't actual open flame, but that looked amazing. And then he was wearing this.
Walking around with a couple tiki torches attached to it.
I think they might have objected to that just a little bit. But and then he was wearing this 65-pound harness with these robotic angel wings that he had rigged up to his cell phone that would actually make the wings go up in a and kind of halo his head, and then also come back down, which really impressed the judges. They end up, of course, winning a couple of awards, but all the entrants.
Outside their costume too.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into them a couple of times. They're surprisingly normal looking.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. Oh, and the makeup and everything they had on too was pretty amazing. But yeah, no, really good people. I got a chance to talk to the guy because I had to help him in and out of his costume. Obviously, wearing 65-pound wings on your back gets a little tiresome.
Yeah.
But
We didn't have
yeah.
somebody in the wheelchair to help.
No, she would not have been able to help.
Yeah. I'm kind of recalling one unusual experience I had at the con, and it didn't happen on the hotel, on the normal gathering area. It actually happened.
Yeah, what was the
Actually,
name?
it actually happened at our hotel balcony. You remember that, Jeremy? That
You mean the
I
guy that
can't
was shimmying across the rail?
Yes.
What?
I wanted to step on his hand, frankly.
Wait, what?
No, I can't recall the game he's from, but it's
There was a guy dressed up as a lead character from Uncharted.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
And he was shimmying up and got to our to our level, which is the second level, and then shimmying across the railing, which went across our time lapse camera actually.
I need to ask Brandon about that because I'm pretty sure we got at least one good picture of the guy.
So wait, there's this guy. Basically, not only is he cosplaying as Nathan Drake, but literally is acting out as Nathan Drake and just shimmering around the.
Yep.
Nope,
Yep.
there was two of them actually.
There was two of them.
There was
Yeah.
two of them dressed up as Nathan Drakes. They were taking turns trying to one up each other by climbing the outside.
Yeah, I was getting kind of scared that one was gonna hurt themselves though.
It seemed like a decent likelihood.
Wow, that's. Were they drunk? Is my question, or were they
Nope, sober.
sober? Okay. Wait, what time of the day was this? This was.
This happened
5
after it
o'clock
stopped
on
raining.
Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah, after
Okay.
it stopped raining.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's nuts. That's yeah. Okay, that's a thing that happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say real quickly about those cosplayers they were talking about in the masquerade. Yeah, those I ran into them. They were really cool. Their costumes are freaking awesome. I was like, holy shit! Like man, it was crazy.
There's a lot of people that try out some unusual stuff at this convention. Maybe it's because it's the timing, it's January, everybody's trying to burn through Christmas money, but some people really bring out this, I don't know if I call it A game, they just get experimentative when it comes to this con.
I think so too. I still think ALA brings out some of the best cosplays I've seen in a con, excluding Anime Expo. But it does kind of feel like they bring their A game, but it's not their A plus game. Like it's a practice A game before they bring it to other big conventions they plan to attend to for the new year. But it's cool. I like it though. It's awesome. So I think I talked about this before, or not on the podcast, but with you guys and other people. So, I was as I said prior, I was walking around in my Zangetsu cosplay Friday and Sunday. Remarkably, like in that costume, I was able to be a bit more what's the word I'm looking for? Like flexible. I thought that'd be like pretty limited to my movement. Actually, it turns out I can move around pretty well in that thing. So my one of my best highlights, or I guess I deemed it as I win ALA. So on. Okay, so
it's self-proclaimed. I see. That's how this works now.
The reason being is because I was at the opening ceremonies. I was taking some video footage there on Friday, and the voice actor of Zangetsu from Kill la Kill was there, the dub version. And before he even said his spiel about he came in for the weekend and everything else wise, first thing he does, I was like, first off, shout out to the Zangetsu cosplayer. His cosplay is pretty awesome. And I was like, I was looking around. See, here's the thing, though. I wanted to stand up and turn around, but I couldn't because the camera was set up like where if I stand up, my camera's going to fall over. So I just kind of stood up, trying to turn around with the costume. I was like, oh, thanks. Awesome. Woo. And then afterwards, I was walking around and he saw me. He's like, hey, man, let me get a selfie with you. I was like, oh, okay, sure. So he takes a selfie. He takes selfie with me, and he tells me I'm gonna send this to the studio. It's like, oh shit, that's awesome. So then, I was all excited. I was happy. I was like, yeah. So then Sunday came around, and that was pretty much the day everybody's gonna buy stuff and just kind of more of a chill day. I attended the voice actors in gaming panel. A bunch of the voice actors that were there that weekend were talking about what they had a hand in video games. and I believe I think all like the voice actors for the Kill la Kill staff was there, and they were taking part of this panel. So it was a good panel. Like there was people there from voice acted in Skullgirls, voice acted in multiple other games as well. Edward Bosco was there as well. And they were talking about their experiences, working in the game, voice acting in the game industry, and anything related to that. So after the panel, the voice actor of Ryoko came up to me. It's like asked me, like, can I get a picture with you and Setgetsu? It's like, sure. So I put on the costume on. I went over, like they took a picture of me and her, and then like suddenly like the voice actor of Satsuki came over. I was like, okay, is this getting cool? All right. And then suddenly like they were like bringing over the entire voiceover cast of Kill la Kill to come over and pose with me or take a picture of me. I'm like, and like they can't see me within inside the costume, but inside I'm like totally fanboying. And I was like, oh fuck, this is
careful, you gotta be careful before they're sending that picture to the studio. See this guy? You need to suit this one.
It was man, that was, and I thought that was like going to be my highlight of the weekend. I was like, oh my god, nothing can top that. Nothing. They thanked me, I went my separate ways. So then I'm walking around, and surprisingly, the voice actor of Satsuki came up to me, and it's like, oh hey, you ran off. We wanted to give you something. What? So then she goes to her purse and takes out an autograph of her and the voice actor of Ryoko and gave it to me. I was like, this is awesome. Cow. This is sick. I was like, and then she's thanking me and everything. And I was like, yes, I win. I have won ALA. So yes,
I'm sure the Freaky Fish would argue with you about that.
Good point. But wow, that was really cool. Like I am never gonna get that same experience again unless I do kick-ass cosplay and then like some other voice actor recognize me for whatnot. So like, oh man, that is not to go on that meme, but that is like the ultimate like senpai notice me type of feeling. So yes, yeah. But enough about me gushing about what happened. So what were some of the things you guys like had fun during the con? Like, was any other moments you kind of ran into yourselves like during the con? There was like kind of weird, funny, or just kind of happened in front of you?
Yeah, I watched Alex nearly die.
Can you provide details of how this happened?
Well, we met a cosplayer dressed up as Kel from Portal, and she wanted to shoot. He agreed to do it. We took her to the parking garage, and we got a few things, but it was super busy down there, so we didn't stick around very long. After that, I offered to take us to one of the stairwells because they don't seem to be very much used during the weekend. And as we're sitting there, he sits her down on one lane. He goes up to the upper one to get a better angle. And I'm standing like a half flight below them. And I hear Alex suddenly call out, "Jeremy, if I die, tell Anthony what I was doing." And I didn't understand the statement. So as I'm walking upstairs, I said, I don't know why I have to tell him. I mean, you're the one who says you're never paid for this bullshit. Oh, shit. I look up and suddenly there's an elbow hanging out in the middle of space in front of me. Alex has got himself on the next flight of stairs up from this lady, wedged in between the bars, like hanging out so he can take an overhead picture. And I'm watching him try and get this shot. He's trembling, and then I'm just kind of slowly putting up my hand so I can put one under his ribcage and the other one on his elbow, and I'm just hoping he doesn't slap me away like a portrait artist.
Wow.
So it was kind of hard for me to keep composure at that moment.
Right. Well, you survived, and you're here somehow. Wow, that's crazy.
But other than that, unfortunately, it turns into the usual stories of a bunch of people who know who I am, and I apologize, people. I'm bad with names, but when you cosplay and I meet you, it's very easy for me to remember who you are. You were the one dressed up as Black Cat. That's awesome. But when you say hi to me in a completely different costume, I'm fucking lost.
Especially Carolyn, because that chick is a chameleon.
Oh, God, dude. Carolyn was somebody who roomed with us. She won an award in last year's Masquerade. She said hi to me about 5 times over the course of the weekend. Only once did I spot her actually coming. Because, she doesn't just change like hair color during this whole thing. Hairstyles change. You know, she's dressed in completely different clothes. Sometimes she's in risers. Sometimes she's not. I swear to God, dude, I think she was Sartan in another freaking life.
It was too funny because she ended up working the masquerade with me, and that's the first time I've really seen her in normal hair. I'm like, oh, she has brown hair.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Anthony, he's absolutely correct. I invited her out to dinner at the end of the last Anime Expo in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Not 2014, 2013. I invited her out to dinner. She showed up to dinner after the convention was over for 2 hours in elf ears and a blonde wig. She had a t-shirt on, she had a jeans on, and I just said, did you forget to take that off? She said, no, I just enjoy it.
She enjoys it.
She walked into an Irish pub dressed like this. I'm sure there are a bunch of people going, I think I've been drinking too long.
I'm not seeing leprechauns, I'm seeing fairies.
What's in this? What did you give me, goddammit?
Give me more.
More.
Fucking Michelob.
That's cool though. That's pretty awesome. It's weird, but I know how it feels. Like, to some people, like if you see a friend of yours for a while in cosplay and like you see them out of cosplay and you don't recognize them, it's perfectly normal. I had those moments many times. I think the first thing my friend told me when he saw me with all my costumes, like, "You're not blonde." Yeah, definitely.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I am recalling one special moment. It wasn't really too big. It was late at night. I forget. I think we're going back to my room after doing the Sailor Moon shoot, and I came across this one guy dressed up as cosplaying as the which version of Gurren Lagann was it? The one with the big ass golden drills on for shoulders.
Oh,
Chogokin, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
just
like
dressed up as.
that was the third version after it merged with the ship from the moon, I think.
Yeah, that version. Yeah, I was like, holy crap! The only thing I was missing was him, and I wish I had a camera.
I think there's a photo of it in the gallery. I'm pretty sure I ran into him in a small group of Gurren Lagann cosplayers.
That's the thing is, I was kind of looking at him and was like, holy crap, can he actually walk in that?
Not really, no. There was a couple times where they took breaks, and he couldn't do much more than waddle, so they would just take, like, the breastplate and helmet. It was all one piece, like, right off him so he could breathe.
That's sacrifice.
Yeah, he suffered for his art.
Yes. I wholeheartedly agree. There was this one cosplayer I saw late at night, and I'm not sure if it was in the masquerade or not, but there was this great Shulk cosplayer from Super Smash Brothers, and holy crap, his costume was awesome. Like, his blade was really cool. He even had the light up symbol like in the circle. He stenciled out of glass, and it's in there, and it's man, there was a really great Shulk cosplayer. I saw that during the night. And of course, I mean, we can't talk about anime without talking about. Yes, this convention is known to be not only a great convention during the day, but also a great convention during the night. My only regret, I did not attend some of the panels at night I really wanted to go to. I think the one regret I have is not attending the voice acting with hentai panel. That's the.
I really wanted to go to the Faku panel, but like a dumbass, I didn't actually check the con programming. I didn't realize that it was being held for 2 nights.
Yeah.
They had one on Friday and they had one on Saturday. I could have gone to the one on Saturday. I mean, I could have gone to the one on Friday, but I thought, they were having it on Saturday, and that's when I was working at the Masquerade, so I was like, no, I won't be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
Well, sucks to be you.
Yeah.
But I did actually run into Jacob, who runs the Faku site. I called him Justin, I think, or something like that, like a dumbass. But he stopped and he was cool. He just corrected me but yeah, that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. The Faku guys are pretty cool. I attended their panel at AX a couple years ago. They're pretty cool people. I mean, the stories they tell are great. I mean, especially the story of like how exactly their website started and how their parents came to figure out what they're doing. They're a pretty cool. They're a pretty cool group. So I didn't run to them. I wish I would have gone to the panel, but nonetheless, they're pretty cool people. And like I said again, I regret not going to that hands on voice acting panel. My only regret, because like during the night we're all kind of like relaxing, we're chilling. Most of us are in cosplay or not in cosplay. We're just kind of just having fun and partying out. But yeah, like I said.
If this convention actually had a theme song, it would be that song "Party Hard."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When we like to party, we will party hard.
Although, I don't know if it was just that I wasn't downstairs late enough at night. I know they didn't have the rum party this year.
No, they didn't.
No,
That was a little
Kirk
sad.
was disappointed with that one.
Yeah.
But last year there was a lot more drunk people in the lobby.
Yeah.
This
like
year
that
it was
loop
it was a little more toned down, or at least I wasn't assaulted by drunk people.
Yeah,
this year.
it was a lot less this year than it was last year.
That's probably the hotel cranking down since they don't have an ongoing concern in our well-being anymore.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest, that is a change that I'm okay with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not that fucking with drunk people can't be fun, but when you're trying to do a job and convince people not to go through a door because, there's cosplayers on the other side and you would be disrupting things, it was a lot easier to keep things under control.
Agreed. I think that I don't mind the change either. I think that, it wasn't crowded. There were still people there having fun, but also it wasn't overcrowded to like, trying to maneuver it through a crowd of people who are drunk. It's like, I just need to get through to the bathroom. Can you please just get out of the way? So I don't mind that. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, it was fun times to be held. I will say though that if I knew this last year, I probably would have went. But apparently, like there was a VIP party that happened at Anime LA for press and industry people that I didn't know about.
Yeah, we weren't told about it.
Yeah. A friend of mine's told me about it. It's like, you want to go check it out? It's like, I don't think I can. You're pressed. I didn't get in. Oh, sure, let's try it. So it just so happens the guy at the front door, that's man in the front door, was also he was the guy at the CWF panel. What's his name? The Iron Man.
The hype man.
Yeah. So it so happens like he was at the front door. It's like, oh, hey, you. So I got in, and I will say, like, it was okay. I mean, I talked to some people. By the way, shout outs to the press people in terms of handling the press for Anime LA. Those guys were great. I was actually surprised in a few moments, and I'll tell a quick story about that in a minute. But the VIP party was okay. I mean, it was cool, relaxing. I was with my friend. There was free booze, but like the funny thing is like the booze that were like given away was like like it was all right, and then like it wasn't not enough of it. It's like okay.
Really? Because I heard that Anime Expo paid for that, and that there was plenty at like 4 in the morning.
When my friend when my friend and I got there, we just got the last of the the ribbon. It was a ribbon something. It was a mixed drink that they named after the ribbons at ALA. We got the last of it, and they're like apparently like down to like one other cocktail left. But it was okay. It was alright. Oh yeah, so
Too sober that I couldn't forget it.
like so real quickly, so the press for ALA, like the people who were running the press was really cool. Like I was setting up for an interview, and one of them come up to me and asked me like, "Do you need anything to drink? Anything to eat?" I was like, "What? You can do that?" It's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, sure, okay. If you can give me some chips, that'd be great." It's like, "Yeah, all right." 10 minutes later, he gives me some chips. Like, "Oh shit, this is awesome." So yeah, the shout outs to the press guys. They were pretty awesome. They were pretty cool.
I would have given you honest money if you interviewed somebody while eating Ruffles. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man.
Nothing says professional like salt flying out of your face.
So I have a question. Because I made sure to get some this time around than last year. So, did you guys get ribbons at ALA this year?
Yes.
Yep.
Any particular one you're most proud of?
I'll let the others answer that because mine is a story.
The only thing I'm proud of would be the silver griffin one, but I got that for playing D&D 5th edition. There are some I'm not too proud of.
Care to share a story of one of them?
There was one guy who is a regular at the con who hands out an assortment of ribbons. And the time I saw him, he was dressed up as a Golden Mario. And so he had a list of a list of ribbons he could choose from that's related to the Mario franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were looking at. I was kind of wondering, Jeremy started off, and he answered the question. He got it right. Unfortunately, the guy said he couldn't ask for that one because Jeremy just answered it all. So fine.
Well, you
So
could ask for that, but you'd have to answer with a completely different answer than I did. You can
yes, and I
my
can.
answer.
Unfortunately, I haven't played the Mario franchise since 64, so I didn't know. So
1964? That's not possible, asshole.
Mario 64, dumbass.
Well, you're the one that said 64, dick.
Calm down, children. Calm down.
Oh, look who you're talking to. So I went for another question. He had, fire flower, and he asked me to name, I think, 3 different fire flowers that are in the Mario franchise. I only know of 2. I didn't realize there was like at least half a dozen out there. So I was so way out of it. So I was like, I kind of looked, and there's one that says Princess Power. The pink one says Princess Power. It's like, and I said, okay, what do I need to do to get this one? Ask nicely. I immediately, I don't know, my mind goes to weird places, especially when I had to do something.
You got down on
How
one
I
knee.
feel demeaning or humiliating, because I've had to deal with that a lot in my early in my life. I end up doing it anyways.
What did you?
So I got to decide. It's the first damn ribbon on my thing. They
What
got
are we
this
talking
pink-
about? The pink princess ribbon?
Yes, the Princess Power ribbon, the very first
So
ribbon on my badge.
I immediately do it right after him, and he just turns and looks at Jesse and goes, "Oh, he's good." I was like, "Why do you think I always play Princess in all of the Smash Ups and Mario Party and everything?" It was hilarious. I was starting to feel a little uncomfortable, I think. But
Actually, I did get to meet him a second time and got various other ones. I forget what the badge was called, but pretty much the thing was you're supposed to tell a complete stranger your first anime crush.
Oh, what? That was
Yes.
that was a ribbon?
Yeah, that was ribbon he was handing out at the time I saw him when I saw him again. So it's like, cool. There was like three of us kind of gathered around him. So I was like one of the people who I haven't just met and don't know their names. So I was telling him, my first anime crush, Amy from Sailor Moon.
Okay, I can respect that.
You just shut that through. Okay, whatever.
No, I can respect that. No, I can respect that. I know how it feels. I know that. And for the other 2 of you, like, what is there a particular ribbon that you're more proud of from the past weekend?
Steve, anything?
I don't know. I didn't really go out of my way to get ribbons. I mean, I think the one that I was the proudest of getting was the Avatar Earthbender badge.
Oh, nice.
And I even had to have help to get that one because the question he asked me was, name 3 Fire Lords. And so, of course, I knew Aizen, and I was like, and Zuko. And he's like, okay, Zuko counts. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I can never remember Aizen's dad's name. And he's like, all right, let me give you a hint. There's a comet. I was like, oh, right, Sozin. Okay. So, but, so I got the Earthbender badge for that. That was pretty cool. But Yeah, I didn't really go out of my way to get any badges. Like, you stand inside the or spend any time inside the arcade, and they make you either answer some trivia or do a Hadouken, and so forth. And
Yeah.
they get kind of crazy with that. But...
I tried to do the Hadouken one time. I just told him that if I'm doing this, I'm going to be winning, and there's nothing else I could do for the rest of the day. I did it, then they turned me down.
Oh.
I did it too fast, so but I did it as loud as my lungs could put out, and I was absolutely winning for the rest of the day.
Damn. For me, like there's, as I'm like looking at my badge and the ribbons I have 3 or more. It's funny, but I'm proud of. The first one is the gamer ribbon I got from the game room, and it was more or less like when she asked me this question about what was the first console to have internet, or have the future of internet in it. And then I thought for a minute, it's like, oh, so like the Sega Dreamcast. And she's like, she tells me like, I'm so happy like you got that right, because like nobody else like would have gotten that right, at least from the people she saw. So that's cool, that's awesome. So I got that badge. The second badge, or ribbon, it's not technically a ribbon, but it was one made on the fly. So I went to the BabsCon booth. I went pop by because I'm taking a friend of mine to that convention this year, and I asked them, are do you have any ribbons? It's like, no, we can make one up though. It's because like one of them had a duct tape ribbon, so they it's like okay, we'll give you one, but it's ask you a question. It's like, okay, all right, so who is the worst pony? And I was like, I was like thinking about it for a second. I was like,
that's subjective.
Yeah, I know, right? So like I'm thinking there for a minute. I was like, what's his name? Lightning, the Twilight's boyfriend, and like
Flash Sentry.
Yeah, Flash Sentry, and like both of them were like, yes. They're like in the unison. They're like so happy. I just said that. So I got a duct tape ribbon. It's called the duct tape ribbon. And then the last one I got, which is funny. So I'm not sure if you guys still remember them still rocking around, but the guy who had the Pokemon Men back in the day, I ran into him late into the night on Saturday, and at this point already was kind of there, in terms of like drunken level, and I was like talking to everybody, and I talked to him for a bit. He was saying what's up and whatnot. He had this like concoction, like this kind of like, I want to say like a nozzle, and like it was connected to like a jug or something of the sorts. Anyways, so like we were talking. It's like, hey, you want some of this? It's like, sure. What's it called? Which I totally forgot what it was called at the moment. But like he open mouth, he sprays some in there, and then he takes out.
The story is sounding kind of wrong.
and then afterwards, no. So then afterwards, he gives me a ribbon, and I look at it. It was a Brazzers ribbon.
Brazzers, an internet porn company.
Oh.
So yeah, those are ribbons I'm proud of.
Actually,
wow.
That same guy I got the Princess Power ribbon from, he was also doing had like half a dozen questions for bronies too.
Oh, did he? Oh shit, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. Jeremy, any particular ribbon that stood out to you that you're more proud of?
I don't know about proud, but it was definitely the most fun I had because I wasn't looking for it. Night Zero. We were busy setting up volunteers. We weren't even supposed to be technically open, but I spent, setting up the department I didn't think was too difficult, and I still had time to kill. So I opened up one panel of the window and stuck my head out, and I just was people watching. I was looking back and forth, and somebody walked by, and he just said something to the effect of, you remind me from that guy from the Muppet Show, and I just looked at him and said, yeah, this convention already sucks. And the guy just kind of kept walking. I don't think he knew what to do at that moment. But, the other staffer I was sitting with, he was just listening back and forth, and all he tells me is, "You need to work on that impression, man. That's not too good." So as I'm talking to him, somebody else comes up. This young lady dressed up as Professor Layton, and she says in a British accent, "Excuse me, sir, I'm looking for the green room. Do you know where programming ops is?" They look back at her, and without missing a beat, say, "Go on, young lady. I think it's right around the corner down at the end of the hall over here." She says, "Oh, thank you, sir. Would you like a ribbon?" "Oh, I love ribbons. What do I gotta do?" "I just need you to answer a riddle." "Oh, I love riddles. What is it?" And she just says, "Hang on," and she starts digging in her purse. Somebody else walks by and says over her shoulder, "Excuse me, which way is the swap meet?" All of a sudden just said, "I mean, swap meet is over there." And they just said, "Thank you." And the Professor Layton looked up and says, "Wait, are we doing a thing here? What happened?" So all of a sudden, it's like after she asked, I just said, "You're supposed to ask me a riddle, aren't you?" "Oh, right." She kept going. She asked me the riddle. I got it right, and she gave me this Professor Layton ribbon. It was the first ribbon I earned all night, or all weekend. And it was just because I was sticking my head out of a window being a jackass, which is kind of the story of my life.
That's pretty awesome.
Since Kirk isn't here, then I have to tell one for him. But he ended up... Oh, God damn it. Now I forgot the story.
It was that good of a story that he erased it completely from his mind.
Well, damn it. I had this story.
See? That good.
Wow. Apparently.
Damn, I would love to hear that story, man.
Yeah.
Man.
I remember it being a really good story.
Yeah, man. I would have just been laughing my ass off. It would have been great. I'm trying to think. So, I mean, overall, I think in a general consensus, I think all of us had a really good time at ALA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may complain about how little I got out, but I still got to see people, and that's always been one of my biggest draws for a convention, is just not sitting around doing it, but just walking around and looking at individuals. It sounds creepy as piss, being that I'm 37, but I've always been fascinated by people, what they do, what decisions they make, and cosplayers make some of the most radical decisions out there when it comes to personal identity.
Oh, if you weren't sitting around, I think we wouldn't come up with that that panel idea we had.
Well, fuck you. I'm not putting that out here. No way, man. That's secret.
Secret.
Yeah, I think we'll keep that hidden for a bit.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say though? I will say though, honestly, this Anime LA for me, I still had fun, but it wasn't as great as last year. I think last year for me there was a certain magic that happened. Like it seemed everything that I wanted to have fun happened, and
well, this year kind of turned to a Foot Locker for about a day and a half just because of the wet weather.
That's true. That's true.
Nobody could help that.
That's true. I'm not taking anything away from this past ALA. I still had a lot of fun. I had fun hanging out with friends and then going to...
that and the hotel staff suddenly found a bunch of sticks to shove up their ass.
Pretty much, yeah, definitely.
That was unfortunate. I personally wasn't hassled by them, but I did hear lots of stories.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And, as we said, like, there was some issues, definitely. And, like I said, if you guys want to listen to that side as well as the future of Anime LA, please go check out Jeremy's podcast, The Rolling 20s. And
that's so official. Listen to this. It's going to tell you about the future of it. Except for the ass-eating tutorial and the
Okay. After all of that, of course, if that happened, that was...
After all that chaos.
Yes.
Really. If you want to hear what it's like when we have a show where we're not really involved in it, just go ahead and listen to the first hour of that show. Holy shit, G and his people took over.
Yes, that was an invasion, but it was a good one. But overall, I mean, like, I had fun. Am I gonna go next year? That's a question mark for me. It just depends on one, life where I'm at, and two, I'm still on the fence in terms of like how I feel like going to next year, being at a new location and new stuff. And new things.
You should make that decision soon. The 2-bedrooms at the new headquarters hotel are already gone.
Okay.
Already all reserved.
Right. All right. I will definitely make a decision soon, but for me right now it is a question mark. But We'll see. We shall see. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining me tonight on talking about Anime LA.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. It's not like we have lives or anything.
Of course.
You just took me away from playing a video game, so you probably did me a favor.
That and eating pizza.
I'm going right back to it after this is over.
So,
yeah, Jimmy's home, so I'm not gonna have use of the TV.
Never mind. That's personal shit. Never mind.
Nope.
So before we go, where can they find you guys on the internet?
We do a weekly comic book-based podcast called The Rollin' 20s for Mission Star Podcast, which can be found on iTunes and on Stitcher. And you can follow us on Twitter at The Rolling 20s. As soon as we get 100 Twitter followers, we get to have a comic book creator and an actor on the show.
Yeah, that's going to be fucking awesome.
And,
Yeah, I will.
And our next appearance, two of us right now are currently scheduled to go to WonderCon at the same weekend. The other one of us is scheduled to go to BabsCon. Guess which one?
Oh yeah, I can only guess.
It's V. No,
Oh, she hates it more than you. She hates it more than you two.
I know.
That would be
We gotta send her
interesting.
to a furry con or something to see what happens.
That
We
would
can
be.
Tape a video of her beating the shit out of somebody just because they said hi in a wolf mask.
That would be interesting.
I am the dominant alpha.
She's the dominant.
Awesome. As Jeremy said, you can follow them on the Rolling 20s on our website at missionstartpodcast.com. You can follow them on Twitter as well at Rolling 20s. You can if you want to follow me personally on Twitter, you can follow me at Depicted Naruto. And you can follow all the work we do on our website, like I said before, on missionstartpodcast.com.
And as you heard, you can find some of his work on browsers.
Yes, exactly. Coming soon to a theater near you. Majority of our ALA coverage is up. We're still working on a few things that are still need to be uploaded. By the time we listen to this, to be on a Friday, so please do check out our new page and new photo shoot page on our site, where we're going to be placing our photo shoots from anime conventions there on that page, and for future.
No news yet, but we are open to trying.
Yes, indeed. So definitely, we are definitely opening up some new stuff on our site, as well as putting up a lot of ALA coverage.
Briefing.
But yeah, in terms of what's in the future, WonderCon's coming up, we're going to be going out for sure, as Jeremy said, as well as BabsCon. We'll let you guys know what we're going to be, attending and covering as soon as we find out. But anyways, with that, we'll see you guys